Good morning, Marco here from Marco on Markets. There might be some sleepy eyes this morning after the Soccer World Cup, which telecast here at, I think it started around 5 a.m. this morning. So well done to Spain. So it's Monday morning, 20th of July, 9:55 a.m. I'm going to share my screen. And I'll start with my disclaimer. So this channel is for educational purposes only and shares my personal opinions and investment process. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial product advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any investments. Always do your own research and consider obtaining advice from a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. So, got that out of the way. So here's my current portfolio. I've updated this a little bit with a few extra things and fixed up the formula from last week. So we've got Aristocrat here. It's currently down 3.8%, and adjusted for dividends, it's down 2.2%. Ascent Group is down 62% after adjusting for dividends. Commonwealth Bank is up 0.49%, and Westpac is down 0.92%. So this really does highlight there are risks in this process also, where I've had this stock now for 555 days and it's down 62%. So I'll go through that Ascent Group, which is a retailer of footwear and sporting apparel. I'll go through their graph at some stage with you just to show you the history of that one. But generally, what I'm trying to do is have a trade of, a short trade to pick up 1 to 2% and then exit the market. I'll just show you my register here, which might be a little bit small, but I think you can zoom in. So what my most recent, these transactions here are all from this financial year. The purple just indicates I've got a sell order on, but these trades have not completed. So in this spreadsheet, I've got a purchase area. So when I purchase, I calculate my margin, which is also on this sell calculator, which you'll see from time to time, and once it's sold, I pop it in here, put in the details, and then calculate my margin. So gross margin and net margin, that's after fees, and also takes into account any dividends. And then in the final columns, I've got here the margin that I achieved, the number of days that I held the stock for, and an adjusted margin, which basically assumes that margin annualized. So if you're able to get, let's say this one, if you're able to get 2% every 4 days, which is 0.5% per day, you would end up with 182%. This is the running balance of my profits, not taking into account any open positions. So as you can see on this view here, I'm currently down 24,000 on $40,000 investment. So that doesn't actually show on the register until the position's closed. So if I end up selling that at a loss, then that'll come off the running balance there. And this is the return I'm achieving so far in July, again not taking into account any unrealised losses. So let's quickly go to the market that has just opened. I just want to show you this on the NAB Trade app this morning. It has an indicator under markets. It's saying that they expect the market to open higher by 57 points, which is around 0.65%. So it's usually a good indicator, but not guaranteed. And it appears on the app for about a couple of hours before market open. So let's log into NAB Trade and see how the market's going. So the market in Australia opens at 10 a.m. Well, actually, in fact, it opens at around 9:58 or something now. It seems to be a little bit earlier. So this is my approved list. So it's generally up on the stocks that I'm watching. JB Hi-Fi's down slightly, but all the rest are up. And I'll just go to my holdings, short list, and what I'll do is I'll quickly just update my portfolio view. So, okay, so Aristocrat is market price is $62.03, 71.5. CBA is 172.65, and Westpac's 36.57. So just looking at this, I'll zoom in a little bit. So the market price is here, and then I've got my average price and my target sell. And so this is really the percentage that I need to gain before I sell. So with Commonwealth Bank, it's currently at 1.31% up on my purchase price, and my goal is to get to 2% and 2% on my investment. Yeah, that is my goal. So let's just go back to the market again, and we'll just refresh that screen. Okay, go back. I might just turn the other watch lists off for a moment, just so we've got just the holdings. Okay, so Commonwealth is still, it's at 173 now, so that's CBA is here, so it has gone up a bit more. So now that's at 1.5% increase. I'll do a couple of refreshes and see if it looks like getting to my target, which is $174.04. So if I refresh, so it has increased a little bit more. And on market open, so it's going up 173 and 50 cents. So if we just pop in, we'll just make sure our order's on. If you go to market depth, you should be able to see the 174 and 4. So my order's sitting there. I'll go back to watch lists. Just turn off all these and just go back to my holding one. So it is climbing 173.67. And so we want it to get to 174. So that's probably my closest trade for today. I'll just update that in here. So that's at 1.87% now. So if I sold at $40,000 investment, that would be $750. Just do a couple more refreshes. No, so it's falling away now. Look, on market open, stocks go up and down probably by the largest amounts in the day, except if there are any announcements. So I would say that this will probably settle down now. So it's falling away. So it's reached like its top, which was 173.72. It'll settle down, and then later in the day, it'll either fall further, stay positive, or increase more. So I'll just update Aristocrat. That seems to be going up a bit too. That one's a fair way away still. Look, to get my margin, my 2% margin on capital, I need to increase by another 4.7%. If I take into account the dividend I received, I'm currently down 0.9%. So I generally like to just take the gain on the capital, because if I'm getting a dividend, that usually indicates that I've held it for a period of time, and I really sort of think of that as offsetting my opportunity cost. For example, if I had this $40,000 in an offset account, so let's just do the numbers on that on the screen. So if you put $40,000 into an offset account, let's call it 6%, and divide by 365 and times by how many days have I had it? 259 days. So that's actually $1,700 in interest that I would have saved if it was in an offset account, assuming the rate was 6%. That might be a little bit high, but just for the example. And here I've got this $40,000 invested, and rather than saving $1,700 in interest, I'm actually down $900 or $365 in after I factor in the dividends. So the idea is we'll try and get the 2% on the actual capital, and this $600 sort of offsets part of the interest that I would pay. And look, the dividends generally come in twice yearly for most companies, so it really depends on when you purchase and whether you're able to access that dividend or not. So I'll just refresh my holdings, see if there's any movement. Okay, so Commonwealth's now down to 173, so it's, you know, it has come down a bit from earlier this morning. But on a $173 stock, you know, 50 cents is really not that much. And as you can see at the current price, let's just update that. I'm at 1.54%. That's actually not a bad time to sell. It's not quite the 2%. I will just watch that for the rest of the day and then make a decision later this afternoon, because 1.54% after 3 days is actually turns out to be annualized 189%, which is, you know, actually a fantastic return. Let's just have a look at Westpac 36. I'll update that. And so just to remind you that the quantities of units here is fictitious. So I'm just doing all the trades on a portfolio, like a trade size of $40,000. The amount that I invest is different to that. I don't at this stage want to disclose my investment values. I don't think it really contributes to the channel at all. All right, so that's getting closer to break even. I've had that for 4 days now, so it's down 0.26%. And so my closest trade will be this one here, Commonwealth Bank, currently at 1.54% up. We'll just go back to the market. I'm just going to have a look at my approved lists now. So I have a pre-approved list of stocks that I can trade. And these are ones that I've done research on and I feel comfortable with trading them. And so once there's a a movement or a trade executed. For example, that Commonwealth one will probably sell either today, this afternoon, I'm not sure. Is dropping a bit, so it may not. I'll be looking for another opportunity, and what I normally do is just come to my approved list. I'll sort it by highest increase. Sorry. Highest increase at the bottom, and then the stocks that have dropped at the top. And I usually like to find stocks that have dropped a little bit because I feel like that they're most likely to come back. But that's not always the case. Sometimes a stock can run and it's positive, and it just continues to climb for a certain period of time. Or there might be some news in the market which you have to look out for. So VEA, which does the Ready Express or ex-Coles Express petrol stations, I think there was some movement in Iran in the Strait of Hormuz over the weekend. So that's probably going to push fuel prices up, which is actually good for Viva Energy that do those petrol stations. So I have traded that one a few times. I do like that stock because those petrol stations are always got people in there buying their fuel, as well as donuts and coffee and Slurpees and chips and all that sort of stuff. Okay, we'll do one more update on, let's just have a look at all the banks. So all the banks are up. Commonwealth's up the most. So look, it has dropped a fair bit again. So if that's why you have to move quickly sometimes. If I had sold it at 173 at the market high, 173.72 this morning. Let's just update that. So it's lost $1 per share in that sort of 10 minutes. So at the moment, I'm 1.3% up. And if I had sold this morning at the top, actually it was close to my my full margin. It obviously didn't get there, because if it had have got to 174.04, it would have sold because I already put the order on. So I think we'll leave it there. Have a good day, and happy Monday. Hope you guys have a good week, and good luck investing.